Hi. All right. So we are going to work today from the butterfly guard. Let's see. Tom, will grab you, bud. So before we get into sweeps and kind of some of that stuff, I want to kind of double back to a piece of Monday's lesson that I kind of left out. If you actually watch the video from Monday, there's like a moment when I'm explaining like, so if they stand up and they try to run past us, then we have the collar and sleeve, and then I pause for like 5 whole seconds. And then I like say some random shit because I could not remember what I was about to say. What I was about to say was talking about the defensive advantage of the butterfly guard, right? The defensive advantage of the butterfly guard, of the seated guard in general, the function that it serves, is that if my opponent is going to try to stay down on their knees and smash through my guard, meaning if he is, so you're standing up, and his goal is to, let's just say you run past my guard, then the butterfly guard is not really well equipped to deal with this from a longer range, right? And it's really even from a close range. Once you have some tactical answers, anything can be mitigated, but it's a vulnerable position. So if I have you please, so this is where the collar and sleeve comes in, because now if he tries to run around, run to your right, please. I'm pretty easily attached, right? That makes sense. So as we talked about, a very common response to this sort of positioning is if he can, he's going to try to get a hold of my legs and staple them to the floor, right? And his goal, right, not so much to my chest yet, to the mat like this, so say you staple me down, and his goal is going to basically be to climb on top and create space between my knees and my elbows, grab a hold of my head, and mash me to the floor, right? And smush me down. If we think of the open guard as being like, okay, let's the solution to what if they broke open my guard and now they are progressing forward. So if, say I was in a closed guard, sit down, Tom had broken it open, and now he's aiming to mash through my guard and grab my head and flatten me out and all this, right? This is the problem we need to resolve. We've resolved if he stands up and tries to move swiftly, but what we have to resolve is what if he tries to mash through. So whether it be he stapled my knee to the floor, or say we go back to that closed guard, I'm here, he broke open my closed guard, and now he's trying to proceed forward. Now, if he mashes into me, and we'll talk about at length why this works, if you just drive into me, you can't really flatten me out, right? The butterfly guard affords me the ability to stay sturdy. So if we do that, let's do it so that we're facing this way. If he's in front of me and he goes to drive into me, it's like he won't really be able to mush me down. I'm too sturdy, right? So this is what the butterfly guard is equipped to deal with, is my opponent stays low and tries to smash my guard. His response when he will not be able to smash will be to disengage, which is why we're the collar and sleeve and other roach guard related situations come into play. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah? So, what constitutes, well, we already talked about what constitutes the seated guard, so we have that covered, but what constitutes the butterfly guard? The butterfly guard is basically a seated guard where I have my feet between his knees. Now, what I want to think about with the butterfly guard, in terms of how I approach the position, is dependent on ranges, right? I think of butterfly guard very similarly in terms of the way you think about, like, I don't know if you guys have ever done any stand-up, but you might have like clinching, kind of elbow and knee range, where you're close enough that your elbows are going to be at the peak distance. You'll have boxing range, where your punches are going to be at the best, most effective. And then you have kicking range, where your hands are unlikely to be able to connect. Your elbows and knees will definitely not be able to connect, but your kicks will be able to connect, particularly like high kicks, right? So butterfly guard has a similar dynamic where there are essentially 3 ranges. So if I get you in front of me, say like this. I have, let's say underneath, I have long range butterfly, where he is at the length of my extended arm. I have mid-range butterfly, where he is at the length of my elbow. And then I have short range butterfly, where he is at the length of basically being at the chest. Does that make sense? So today we're going to work from short range butterfly. And again, it's like the key to why I go into this and why we're differentiating between distances is because, again, how I approach each distance varies. So if I try to approach long-range butterfly the same way I approach short-range butterfly, I'm not going to have a ton of success. Likewise, if I try to approach short-range butterfly from the way I approach long-range, I won't have success either. Okay. The advantage of the short-range butterfly guard is that I have the ability to really load this person over my body, right? We talked about just a moment ago how he can't smash into me because he can't really flatten me out. The reason why he can't flatten me out is because I'm keeping my knees and my elbows connected. When I keep my knees and elbows connected, I make myself almost like, I like to do like a rolling cage for a race car, right? It's like, it's just going to tumble around. He can't really collapse it, right? So the disconnect of the elbows and knees is the consequential thing that beats me in this position. As long as I keep these intact, I'm very strong. This also means that in the same way that, like, if you have, if you imagine I had something on my feet and then you pushed me backwards, if my knees and elbows stay connected, well, that object is going to go in the air. Does that make sense? Furthermore, the only way that my opponent can compromise this is basically by extending in this direction, right? So you may go, okay, well, but that's the direction we just showed you had you fall back, so like, what am I to do? The answer is I'm not going to fall backward, I'm going to fall sideways. So in the sense that I get the same advantage of keeping the sort of rocking chair dynamic going, but I'm going to take it this way. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to fall to my side. So we're going to start out with just like the first butterfly guard sweep anybody should really bother with. And honestly, if you're good enough at this sweep, I'm telling you, like, you don't really need much any other variation from close range butterfly. It's just like a variation or an extension of it. So if I have you in front of me, please. So I'm close. I'm going to pummel one underhook. I'm going to pummel the overhook. When I get my overhook, I want to cut the tricep and wedge his forearm into my ribs. Okay? If you look, you can see it on the camera. On my underhook side, my knee and my elbow are rigidly connected. On this side, it's not going to be so as important. But this is rigid. I cannot let it. The second this disconnect happens, let's say Tommy starts pushing forward and I get lax. If this happens, now it's very hard to lift them up. So this is very critical that I do not allow that disconnect to happen. Let's do a little bit, just a hair this way. That should be good. So, yeah. So, and I'll show the overhook side on the camera. So I'm here, and I'm not like looping through like a wizard. I'm cupping and pinching my elbow against his forearm, right? Let me get you back to the other side. So, the first premise we've already talked about. I'm going to fall to my side. I'm not going to try to fall back. I'm keeping my knees and elbows connected. I'm falling to my side, right? Okay, let's say, let me get you to stay upright. I want to get this. As we talked about previously, if you just stay attached and just try not to fall, if I take myself to the side, right, as I go, this knee starts lifting up off of the air, right? You guys see that? So as long as I stay rigid, I'm already going to elevate the face. We're going to do, can you get that? Cool. I'm going to make one other adjustment to this. I have my over under. What I'm going to do is take my head to his knee, and I'm going to shoot my leg on the side that I'm going toward between his legs, right? So I was here, I have my butterfly guard, and I'm going to find my head, so I'm not just going straight sideways, I'm going to go sideways and forward, as this foot punctures through. You can ask Tom, that already feels pretty dramatically compromised, yeah? Right. Once I'm here, I'm ready to boogie man. I'm not going to take him laterally, I'm going to look behind myself and take him over his shoulders to get my position. When you do this quickly, this is a really powerful butterfly sweep. And I'm not going to go into all the nuances of this now, but this is like a thing, man, you can really like dog them over, even if they're fighting hard. We'll talk about that in a minute in our next technique. But here I'll do a little bit more pizzazz. Here I have an underhook, clamping tight, and then I'm going to, again, my leg is puncturing through this hole, and I'll show that for a better angle for the camera in a second. But the leg is puncturing through the hole, and my head is going to that knee. So as I go through, so I'll do it now. It's like, I get on top. It's a very easy trick. We do that now with us centrally in front and facing. Actually, you know, as a matter of fact, Tony, can I get this other time to do that? It's a very simple sweep we're starting out with. This is like the really, like the cornerstone of the butterfly, short range butterfly. So again, I'm here, I get my feet in, I'm pummeling the over-under position, right? On the side that I have the underhook, my knee and my elbow are rigidly connected. I cannot let that disconnect. This is the one critical mistake I am not allowed to make, right? I'm clamping this arm tight against my body, like at the forearm, and then as I go through, right, I'm puncturing this leg between, let's actually turn this way just a little bit. I think, yeah, this should be slightly visible anyway. Grab your arm. This leg is going between, and my head is going to his knee, right? You feel how that loads you up way on top of this frame. That's what I'm looking for. And then I'm going to look behind myself and take him over his shoulder and follow to the mount. Does that make sense? You guys have any questions about that? I'll show that invisible opponent so you guys can just sort of see the mechanics there. Here, at my over-under. You can also favor a side a little if you choose. Yeah, let me show that one last time. Can you read with that? Another nuance, not as important, but it does help in instances, is as I'm here, I'm going to open the door. You see what I'm saying? Leaves a little bit of like space here, so that's why I don't focus on it too much. But once I get here and I do the same thing, you see it's like just a little bit more powerful, but it's the same basic mechanic. At my over-under, boom. I'm not just falling straight to my side. This is puncturing through, and my head is coming in, so I almost end up like here. Almost like I'm trying to do, it's almost like really like I'm trying to do a Grammy roll. You guys know what a Grammy roll is? Yeah. Grammy roll is when I go like this. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So I'm here, I'm a butterfly, and then I'm going through and forward, and then I'm not like taking him sideways, I'm taking him up, right? And then I'm going to follow with it to get to the mount. Yeah? Cool, let's start off with that. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.